Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. This is biology session. Habitat, the adaptations in living beings. So we have completed the lesson and we have discussed some of the questions in the last video. So in this video, more number of questions we are going to discuss which are related to this chapter appeared in the previous Olympiad contests. Are you ready, children? So before going to the exercise, let us once again recap. What is adaptation? What is adaptation, children? To live in a particular place, an animal or a plant adapts itself or brings about some changes to its surroundings. This is called adaptation. Okay? You know very well, the animals broadly classified into two groups, vertebrates and invertebrates. The animals with backbone and the animals with or without backbone. The animals without backbone are called invertebrates. The animals with backbone are called vertebrates. Depending on habitat, the animals can be divided into 5 major groups which we have studied. What are they? Terrestrial animals which live on land, aquatic animals which live in water, amphibians which survive both on land and in water, arboreal which live on trees, aerial which live in which spend maximum life in the air. Okay? So what are terrestrial animals? What are its adaptations? So they have legs to walk, they have lungs to breathe, and they have well developed sense organs and nervous system. Okay? In the terrestrial habitat, there are so many are there, like desert, polar region, isn't it? So let us take camel and its adaptations. The camels can live without water for 3 months. Do you believe? We have to. They store fat in their hump. They have huge padded feet which do not sink in sand. Their thick lips help them to eat thorny plants. Their color matches with their surroundings. They have scanty hair and thick skin to protect them from heat of the sun. They have 2 rows of eyelashes to protect them from sand and heat of the sun. They have closed their nostrils to prevent they can close their nostrils to prevent the blowing sand and from getting in. Okay? So these are the adaptations of camel. Some animals like polar bear, squirrels, bears, frogs go for the long winter sleep. We are calling it as a hibernation. This is sleep for several months to protect themselves from cold. They become inactive and come out only when the weather changes. This long winter sleep is called hibernation. During hibernation, the animal uses up the fat reserve of its body for nutrition. The animal's heartbeat slows down so that it uses less energy. They conserve energy by undergoing sleep. Okay, when the conditions are favorable, again they become active. So example for hibernation: polar bear, squirrel, normal bear and frogs. So aquatic animals, if you take fish, what are the adaptations in the fish? The body of the fish is streamlined, which reduces the friction while swimming in water. Fishes have fins which act as paddles and control the direction of movement in water and provide balance. The gills are well developed. Respiration takes place through gills. Oxygen dissolved in the water is absorbed through the gills. Some fishes have swim bladder which is filled with air to help maintain buoyancy, float on the surface. Okay, some animals like ducks have webbed feet which act as paddle and help them to swim in water. Fish, turtle, crab, ducks, these are all aquatic. And amphibians means the animals which live on both land and in water are called amphibian. Example, frog, toad. They are cold-blooded animals. Okay, and use the environment to regulate their body temperature. They have webbed feet to move on land and also to swim in water. Arboreal animals, the animals that spend most of their time on trees. Okay, example, monkey, squirrel, garden lizards. They have strong legs and arms to move from branch to branch, isn't it? And some arboreal animals like tree sloths have huge claws. They let them hang from trees without expending their energy. Aerial animals. Aerial animals that spend most of their time in the air are called aerial animals. Most of the birds and insects, even bat is the only mammal that can fly. They have light bodies and light bones and feathers. They have a boat shaped body and wings to fly. They have strong muscles to flap wings. Certain birds like kiwi, ostrich, penguin, these birds cannot fly. They are known as flightless birds. What are flightless birds? Example, kiwi, ostrich, penguin. Okay, the animals are classified into three types based on the food habit: herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and another one is parasites. Some animals live on or inside the bodies of other living animals and get their food. Example, head lice, mosquitoes, leech. They suck the blood of their host. Okay, scavengers. What are scavengers? Some flesh eating animals which feed on the flesh of dead animals. They are called scavengers. Example, vulture, hawk, hyena, to some extent crow also. Okay, adaptations we have studied. Adaptations for protection. Okay, like camouflage, hide and seek. Okay. Okay, children. Let us proceed to the second part of the exercise. Assertion and reason. Grassland animals are mostly predators. Reason: predators have long, strong and sharp claws in their front legs. Assertion and reason are correct. Reason is the correct explanation of A. Assertion. Assertion and reason are correct. Reason is not a correct explanation of assertion. Assertion is false but reason is true. Assertion is true but reason is false. So here assertion and reason are correct, no doubt in it, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Okay, grassland animals are mostly predators. Okay, but predators have long, strong and sharp claws. Why? Reason means why grassland animals are mostly predators. That reason is not explained here. So match the following type question. Column 1, camel, penguin, cheetah, monkey. The animals are given, and in the column 2 their habitats are given. Polar region, grassland, desert, arboreal. If you take camel, where does it live? It lives in the desert. We find camel in the desert. Penguin. Penguins Arctic region, the polar region. Next, cheetah, its habitat is grassland. And monkeys, they are arboreal. Arboreal means which live on trees, which spend maximum life on the trees. The flow of energy in an ecosystem can be explained with the help of, there is one law. What is that law? Hardy-Weinberg law, you are going to study in the higher classes. Law of thermodynamics, law of codominance, and Blackman's law of limiting factor. Here the law of thermodynamics, energy can be neither created nor destroyed, but it can be transferred from one form to another form. So it is called the law of thermodynamics. Flow of energy is unidirectional. Okay, always from producers to consumers. First, the energy present in the environment in the form of sunlight is absorbed by the plants in the process of photosynthesis. Then herbivorous animals eat the plants. The energy transferred from plants to herbivorous animals, from herbivorous animals into the carnivorous animals. Finally, after the death of these producers and consumers, the energy will be again added to the atmosphere by decomposers. Okay, in every transfer some 10% of energy will be wasted. So each level of energy, it is called energy pyramid. In that energy pyramid, each level is called as trophic level. Okay, the level of energy will be very high in the first trophic level, that is producers. Then when we proceed from producers to the consumers, the energy level will decrease. Which of the following is an abiotic component of an ecosystem? Bacteria, plants, fungi, humus. Humus is the part of soil. It is abiotic. The meaning is non-living. Okay. So bacteria, plants and fungi are living. Humus, the fertile soil present in the forest, upper layer, top soil. Okay, it is a non-living factor. Energy levels in an ecosystem are called consumer levels, trophic levels, consumer level, producer level, herbivores. It is a trophic level which determines the energy. Next, the depletion of ozone shield is due to, the depletion of ozone shield is due to chlorofluorocarbons, oxides of nitrogen, methane, all of these. Okay, ozone, the formula is O3. It protects the earth from ultraviolet radiations. So in the presence of CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, this ozone, okay, this ozone is converted to oxygen. So this is called ozone depletion. The how ozone is formed then? Opposite. In the presence of ultraviolet light of sunlight, UV radiation, it form oxygen, ozone. Okay, but in the presence of CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, the ozone is converted to oxygen. Okay, this is called ozone depletion. The result of ozone hole is greenhouse effect, global warming, acid rain, increased ultraviolet radiation. Increased ultraviolet radiation. The UV radiation reach the earth directly. Aerobic burning of organic solid wastes at high temperature is called incineration, pyrolysis, composting, landfilling. So this is the management of wastes. So organic wastes are mentioned here. This process is called pyrolysis, burning at high temperature. Units of measurement of amount of atmospheric ozone are decibels, Richard units, Dobson units, photon units. So it is photon units to measure the atmospheric ozone. On an average energy transferred from one trophic to next trophic level, what is that? 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%. It is the 10%. Edaphic factors of an ecosystem is related to producers, consumers, climate, soil. Edaphic means soil. Biodegradable waste can be employed to produce manure, biogas, both A and B, none of these. So biodegradable means which can be converted into soil. Okay, so manures and biogas. Ozonosphere lies in, or the ozone layer lies in troposphere, stratosphere, thermosphere, ionosphere. These are the layers of atmosphere. In which layer ozonosphere lies? Troposphere. Okay, A. The troposphere is the layer in which ozonosphere is present. Chlorofluorocarbons deplete the ozone shield by producing active carbon, active fluoride, active chloride, all of these. Okay, by means of all these mechanisms, chlorofluorocarbons convert the ozone into oxygen. That is called ozone depletion. Which of the following is a non-biodegradable pollutant? Sewage, wood, paper, DDT. DDT is a non-biodegradable pollutant. Name the gas which plays major role in global warming. Carbon monoxide, hydrogen sulfide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide. It is the carbon dioxide which plays major role in the global warming. What is global warming? The phenomenon in which the temperature of the earth increase. Okay, so actually the carbon dioxide is required to keep the earth warm. Carbon dioxide form a layer around the earth and keeps the earth warm. That is called greenhouse effect. Increase in greenhouse effect leads to global warming. When the composition of carbon dioxide increases drastically or more in the atmosphere, then it will lead to global warming. Okay, it's a greenhouse gas. Which of the following does not help in protecting our environment? Crop rotation, treatment of sewage, deforestation, judicious usage of fertilizer. Here which of the following does not help? Okay, that is deforestation. Remaining all help to conserve the environment. Which of the following is a biodegradable waste? DDT, BHC. DDT is an insecticide, BHC is also an insecticide, Gamaxin it is also called cloth mercury. Which of the following is a biodegradable? So here compared to all these, cloth may be biodegradable, but also it also takes some more time. Which of the following is the method of waste disposal? Landfills, pyrolysis, incineration. These are all the methods of waste disposal. Depending upon the type of waste, we can follow the method, we can select the method. Burning of waste substances usually at high temperature of over 1000 degrees centigrade to convert them into ashes is called eutrophication, incineration, desertification, saponification. Okay, here incineration is the combustion at very high temperature. Ultraviolet radiation from sunlight causes a reaction which produces ozone, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, methane. Ozone. Okay, in the presence of the ultraviolet rays only, oxygen is converted to ozone. The importance of ecosystem lies in flow of energy, cycling of materials, both, none of these. So the importance of ecosystem lies in both flow of energy and cycling of materials. From amongst the following, select a biotic component. Select a Abiotic component means non-living: air, water, heat, sunlight. So all of these are abiotic components. The next, in trees of mountain region, we generally find that they are cone shaped, they have non-sloping branch, they have needle-like leaves. What do you find? We will find the cone shaped and needle-like leaves. So only 1 and 3 are correct. Assertion reason type: living organisms are regarded as open systems. Energy of living organisms can be lost or gained from their environment. Okay, select the right option. Here assertion and reason. Both assertion and reason are seems to be wrong. Okay, living organisms are regarded as open system, that is wrong. Energy of living organisms can be lost or gained from their environment, it is also wrong. Parenchyma is present in the leaves and petioles of hydrophytes. Reason: it imparts buoyancy to the hydrophytes. Yes. Okay, here both assertion and reason are true, and the reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Match the following type question. Kerala 2007 set up here. Column 1, global warming, edaphic factors, ozone depletion, non-degradable. So in the column 2, soil, CFC, aerosols, greenhouse effect, DDT. Okay, we have to select the right one. The codes are given down. First let us match, then select the code. First, global warming. It is a increase in the greenhouse effect. So S. Edaphic factor, soil, ozone depletion, CFC. Okay. Next, non-degradable, they are DDT. Okay. So here the correct AS, BP, CQ, DT. Same type of procedure. Reducer, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. It's a food chain. And examples: insects, tiger, algae, snake, phytoplankton. Okay. Multimatrix type. Producer here green plant, algae, and phytoplankton, T. Next, primary consumer means herbivores. Which is the herbivore here? So we can consider certain insects. Okay, grasshopper, like that. Next, secondary consumer. Secondary consumer here, the category snake. So here frogs may also come. Then tertiary consumer bees, which is very big. Okay, that is Q. ART, BP, CS, DQ. So here the option A is correct. Next, plants growing under the shade of other plants, they are called epiphytes, semi-epiphytes, mesophytes, zeophytes. Zeophytes are the plants which grow under the shade. Plants which produce characteristic pneumatophores and show vivipary belongs to mesophytes, halophytes, samophytes, hydrophytes. They are the halophytes, example mangrove plants. Okay, pneumatophores they possess, breathing roots. Next, which one is an adaptation to live in a cold place? Wings or feathers? Layer of fat under the skin, a long neck, spotted fur. It is adaptation to live in the cold place, a layer of fat under the skin which prevent the heat loss. The color and pattern on a turtle shall help it blend with the forest floor. This is hibernation, behavior, migration, camouflage. It is the camouflage. So, see, the floor and the animal color seems to be same to protect from enemies. Which does an eagle's sharp beak help it do? Run from predator, hide from predator, catch its prey, migrate. So it's a hard curved beak. It helps to catch the prey. Which type of bird beak is best for drinking nectar from a flower? Short wide beak, spoon like pelican beak, long and narrow beak of hummingbird, curved beak. Okay, here long and narrow beak, slender, helps to suck the nectar, drinking the nectar. Which is an example of an animal that uses a shell for protection? Turtle, armadillo, crab, all of the animals listed. So all of the animals listed here, they possess a shell. Next, when a living thing occupies when the living thing copies the appearance of another living thing as a means of protection, it is called mimicry, a behavioral adaptation, mockery, natural selection. It is a mimicry. Okay. Deep sleep to survive low temperatures and a lack of food is called mutation, competition, migration, hibernation. Hibernation. Okay, polar bear is given here. Which best describes how a porcupine defends itself from predators? It changes color, it has sharp quills, it moves very rapidly, it makes a loud noise. Porcupine, it possesses a sharp quills. When animals sleep during the winter months, it is called what? Camouflage, locomotion, migration, mimicry, hibernation. Why do animals like monkeys have long arms and tails? To hug each other, to wrap around them to stay warm, to swing quickly from branches of the tree, or to high five each other. To swing quickly from tree branches. They possess long arms and curved tails. The praying mantis looks very much like a blade of grass. What is it called when animals look like other animals or plants? Camouflage, mimicry, locomotion, hibernation. It is mimicry. It mingle with the grass. Why do some animals play dead or mimic themselves to look like something else, to play games with friends, to defend themselves. It's tired of how it looks. It helps them hibernate. Okay, mainly to defend themselves. Okay, children. Chameleons have the ability to change color. Why do they do that? To use less energy, to change the temperature, to blend in and hide, to help them hibernate. Okay, to blend in and hide. Okay, hope you followed. The many questions appear from this chapter. Some of the questions we have discussed. Okay, thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.